Most people use their HSA like a debit card. They swipe it for every little medical bill, never invest $1 of it, and that's exactly why they miss the real move. Because if you use it the right way, it can quietly build wealth and save you money 4 different ways. Hey, you guys know me by now. My name is Mark. I spent over a decade as a licensed financial advisor, and before all that, I was drowning in $80,000 of debt with no one to teach me any of this. So let's get into it. For the first move, consider investing the money. Don't let it just sit there in cash. Here's what a lot of people don't realize. A lot of HSA providers allow you to invest the money inside the account, just like a 401k. But by default, this money sits there in cash doing absolutely nothing. So the balance never gets big enough to really matter, and the account never gets a chance to grow. Picture 2 people with the same HSA putting the same exact amount in every single year. Person 1 swipes a card for every copay and never invests $1, and a few years later, they basically got nothing to show for it. Person number 2 starts investing that money from the gate. They pay for small stuff out of their pocket and they let that money build in their account. Same account, same contributions, completely different outcome. That right there is the difference between a medical piggy bank and a real wealth account. So if you want to do this by yourself, log into your HSA, find the investing option and turn it on. As we all know, cash does not compound, only invested money does. Now that your money is actually working for you, the next move is understanding why this account is such a good one in the first place. Which brings us to move number 2, use all 4 of the tax breaks. People love to call an HSA a triple tax advantage account. And the way that I see it, it's actually quadruple, and that makes it one of the strongest accounts that you have access to. Let's be clear, the government will never tell you anything about your 401k. And it's really funny how quiet they get about this one. Most people only tap into 1 or 2 of these different tax breaks without realizing that another layer exists. Let me break down all 4 in plain English. Number 1, you get a tax deduction for the money that's going in. Let's say you make $70,000 a year, you put $3,000 into an HSA. Uncle Sam is only going to be looking at about $67,000 when trying to figure out how much to assess in taxes. 2, if you contribute straight from your paycheck, like most people do, through your employer, that money skips payroll taxes too. Almost no other account does that. Number 3, the money grows completely tax-free while it's invested, and no tax bill on the gains year after year. That one is a powerful one, and I think I deserve a like for that one, so go ahead and click like on this video. Number 4, you will pull it out tax-free for qualified medical expenses. And the word medical is way broader than what you might think. Dental, vision, feminine products, even something like an Oura ring qualify if it's for medical reasons. So if you want to do this yourself, you can fund it through your employer's payroll whenever you can. So you can catch all 4 layers, not just 1 or 2, and treat every dollar you put in as a tax favored dollar. Now look, I'm going to be real with you guys. The hardest part isn't the HSA itself, it's knowing which account to fund first, whether it's your HSA, your Roth, or your 401k, and in what order. That confusion is exactly what keeps people stuck and doing nothing for years. So I put together a free investing checklist that lays it all out step by step so you're not guessing. It's the first link in the description, so go ahead and grab it. It's completely free. Now that you know why the tax side is so powerful, here's the move almost no one actually uses. Move number 3, pay now, reimburse yourself later. Here's the part that almost no one knows that they're allowed to do. The IRS never says you have to reimburse yourself from your HSA right now. There's no deadline at all, like literally at all. As long as you keep your receipts, that reimbursement can wait as long as you want it to. So picture this, you got a $400 dentist bill. Most people just swipe the HSA card right on the spot. Don't do that. If you can afford it, pay that $400 out of your checking account and reimburse yourself down the road. But it's really important that you keep the receipts to show that you did actually pay for that on the day that you actually did. That $400 stays invested inside of an HSA, compounding for 10, 20, 30 years. Then one day, way down the road, you pull that money out completely tax-free using a receipt from the dentist visit that you had decades ago. You've basically let a tax-free investing account ride for years with the receipts already banked to unlock it whenever you need to. So if you want to do this yourself, when you can afford it, pay medical costs out of pocket and keep every receipt in one place. Maybe a folder, maybe a photo album, maybe even an app. An app will probably be better because, receipts, they kind of break down after some time. Then only swipe that HSA card when it actually makes sense. Now that you know how to let the account grow untouched, there's one thing that you got to check before you go all in. Move number 4, make sure the health plan that you choose actually fits your life. So here's a catch, if you want to call it a catch. To even have an HSA in the first place, you have to have a high deductible health plan. A high deductible plan means that you pay more out of pocket before insurance kicks in. So if you're someone who's at the doctor all the time, that deductible can wipe out the whole benefit. Let me give you a real example. My mom goes to the hospital more than what the nurses do. If she has a headache, she's there. If her stomach hurts, she's there. If she has an itch on her back, she is going to the hospital. For someone like her, a high deductible health plan may not be the best idea because she'd be paying a lot of deductibles over time, over and over and over again, every time she goes and her toe hurts. Same thing if you got young kids who are constantly at the doctors, because we all know that kids are walking germs. But if you're healthy and your family's healthy and you don't expect a lot of medical bills, then an HSA this year can be a really smart move. So if you want to do this by yourself, don't just look at the monthly premium, look at the full picture. What will you pay each month? You got to look at what your deductible is and what you can actually expect to use this year, and recheck it every single open enrollment because, life changes. Now, if the plan fits your life, the last move that I'm about to talk to you guys about is where it gets unreal. It's what happens to your account when you turn 65. This brings us to move number 5. Let it ride the whole way to 65. Once you hit 65, the HSA changes in a good way. It starts acting like a regular investing account for all non-medical expenses. You can pull the money out for anything that you want. You just have to pay normal income taxes on that money, but there's no penalty. And for medical expenses, it's still completely tax-free. But here's the part that makes me lean forward a little bit. With a traditional 401k, the government eventually forces your hand. They make it where you start taking money out every single year, whether you need to or not. They call that an RMD, or a required minimum distribution, where at a certain age, you have to start taking that money out. You might ask why. It's because they want their tax dollars from the money you're taking out. That's why they do it. Uncle Sam wants his money, and he's not going to wait around until later down the road where he can get it from you. The HSA doesn't do that to you. No one's tapping you on your shoulder. And look, this isn't me telling you to skip your 401k. I need you to do both. It's just the fact that one of these gets pushed to you like a 401k, and the other one quietly does something your 401k can't. So what I'm saying is that you want to make sure you have both options. So if you're 65 with a pension, Social Security, 401k, and you don't actually need this money, you just let it keep growing. And if you never touch it, it passes on to the people that you love. And being able to pass something down to the next generation, that's something really personal for me. My dad passed away with a lot of debt and nothing to really leave behind. And the last message my dad told me before he passed away was take one step at a time. For first gen wealth builders, folks who came up with nothing, this account is one of those steps. It's how you build something that doesn't stop with you. So if you want to do this by yourself, you can open up your HSA somewhere with very low fees. A lot of people go with Fidelity because there's no annual fee whatsoever. Then you're going to want to invest your money, automate the contribution so it happens every single month without you thinking about it, and then treat that balance like 30 years from now money, not just money for this year. So my friends, that is the HSA strategy in all 5 moves. But here's the truth. The HSA is just one piece. The real game is knowing how your HSA, your 401k, your Roth IRA, how they all work together. That's exactly what I teach in my free investing class. I've already walked 165,000 people through how the top 1% invest, how to start budgeting and having a money plan, the exact order to build your account so you never feel behind again. If you want me to build that whole plan with you, click on the link below and I'll see you on the other side. And remember guys, take one step at a time, because if not, you're going to be overwhelmed, and make sure you use my resources to help you get to that next step. All right, y'all, that's it. I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a good one.